notice that the APC has hired so many mobs to talk down on Peter Obi's personality? They just keep attacking Peter Obi in every post they put out there. I think it is time for obedience to know that these people have been hired, to rubbish Peter Obi's personality, which they cannot, because Peter Obi has already built his brand. He has built, his support base, and they cannot destroy it. But I think it is time for people not to waste their time to react to some of their posts on the social media. By the time you stop reacting to their posts, like Wala Daniel's post is no longer gaining traction anymore. By the time you stop reacting to those APC mobs on the internet, whose job is just to keep attacking Peter Obi from morning to night, you will see that they will all go silent. Anyways, Aisha Yesufu has reacted to this image of Peter Obi, Tinubu, seen in this photo talking, and there've been a whole lot of reaction to that. Also, this image of Tinubu sitting alone and Peter Obi was equally seen in a queue has also, been raising some dust. Some of the people, the APC mob on the social media, were like, whoa, Peter Obi is in a queue. Why Tinubu didn't, queue up? And I'm like, Peter Obi is always that man who follows protocols, He likes being in a queue. Even in the airport, you must have seen him. He likes to follow protocol. He's not one of those politicians that will just want to come and meander their way through. No, Peter Obi likes to follow things the way it is supposed to be done. So seeing him queuing up is not strange to anybody who knows Peter Obi. Even while traveling, you see him queuing up. So it's not strange. Anyway, Tinubu has come out to say that the unity of Nigeria is work in progress. The question remains, is there any effort that we are even seeing from the Tinubu's government in uniting Nigerians? We are not seeing any. Looking at what is happening in Lagos, recently there's this video on Twitter where a man was seen saying that they will never allow the Igbos to vote in Lagos. They cannot be the one to decide who becomes their leader. And what happened even in the 2023 presidential election till today, Tinubu is mum. How people were threatened, people's houses were destroyed because of they are not from the southwest, but they voted in the southwest, and all that. A whole lot that has been happening as regards to the unity of this country, which have not been, addressed. But Tinubu went to tell the Pope that, or he went there to say that unity of Nigeria is work in progress, and we are not seeing that work. We are not seeing it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to allow you to take a look at how Aisha Yesufu has reacted to this photo of, Peter Obi and Tinubu seen, exchanging pleasantries and all that. And let me know your honest reaction in the comment section below. Just take your time, watch this video to the end, and see some of the reaction. Also, an analyst has equally reacted to what Tinubu said, that, that it is work in progress, the unity of Nigeria. You are going to be seeing all this. Take your time and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now take a look.
Often about unity in diversity, this was more than a ceremonial attendance. It was a gesture of Nigeria's religious diplomacy on the global stage. A warm handshake between the Nigerian leader and the new pontiff. A moment of symbolic interfaith connections.
It's consistent in the true sense of unity in diversity. And I'm greatly honored. We have to continue to work on it. It's a work in progress for the sake of our country and the continent as a whole.
Hello, everyone. So there's been a lot of things that have been going on. APC is listing part of his achievement that Mr. Tinubu was invited to the Vatican for the Pope. I don't know, what's it called now? Is it investigation or it's not inauguration, Shabe? There's something that it's called for the ceremony to officially, sorry if I don't know what that is. And so it's been all over. So initially they were even sort of like dragging Peter Obi supporters and saying to them that, day for day, sort of like they don't, Peter Obi was not invited, Peter Obi was not. Oh, Lord have mercy. The kind of this thing. And then, the way Tinubu was sitting down there, like one abandoned thing. Lord have mercy. Illegitimacy, it follows you anywhere. No matter, even you in your heart of heart, because you are in a place where you are not supposed to be, you won't have what it is to actually act in a way that your inner mind completely aligns with your outer mind and everything. So you might be saying to the world that, it's you won, you got in that. Your inner mind knows that it's a lie. And so that reflection, you always see it, outside. But I'm going to do a whole video on that one particularly. So they've been going on and you've seen the whole conversation back and forth where they were sort of like insulting, like I said earlier, Peter Obi supporters and saying that, oh no. I saw Sarah Ibrahim had said, oh, Peter Obi should post his invitation. Peter Obi, I mean, if Peter Obi should post his invitation card, but me self, I go call him. I'll call and say, P, what be this? What is this? You're more than this. And he's more than that, and he will not do it for what? Who is he trying to prove anything to? They are the ones who need these things. When you have something, you really don't need to go and say that you really don't, how do I put it? You really don't need to show that you have it. It's already there because you know you have it. So this is Obayo Onanuga say out here. So and then they are like, trying to find this thing, out there. Tinubu meets Peter Obi Fayemi at the Vatican, he said, he wrote here. Bola Tinubu, Mr. Obi, the Labour Party presidential candidate, and I was saying to the person who won the 2023 election before Tinubu went on and rigged it and got himself sworn it illegally. Let me add that one there. A former Ekiti governor, Kayode Fayemi, met at Poplio, installation, that's what they call it. Poplio, the 14th installation mass on Sunday in Rome. Fayemi cited Tinubu where he sat with other leaders and asked Obi to follow him to pay homage to the Nigerian leader. Obi agreed. On getting to Tinubu, because he is using president, he's not my president, so wherever he puts president, I'm going to replace it with Tinubu. On getting to Tinubu, Fayemi broke the ice between Obi and Tinubu. He said, Mr. Tinubu, welcome to our church and thank you for honoring the Pope with your presence. Tinubu, ever quick-witted, responded, I should be the one welcoming you and Peter. I'm the head of the Nigerian delegation. Tinubu's response cracked up Obi, who agreed with Tinubu. Obi said, yes, indeed, we are members of your delegation. Peter Obi and Fayemi are staunch Catholics and Papa Knights. One of the things I know for Peter Obi is actually very staunch Catholic. He's the first Christian I've known. I've known quite a lot. All my life, I've always had, Christians as friends from primary school all the way to my present day life. I can tell you, he's one person that I saw praying almost the way like the number of times a Muslim pray. This when they say at 6, at 12, at 6 again, and that kind, he does that. And he's the one, honestly. I didn't, I know about it, but I didn't see anyone practicing it that I know of. Out to like when we're going through the campaigns, we start in the morning, he's doing his prayers. Sometimes he's doing it in the helicopter, and then he's doing the rosary thing and all of that. So for him, it's something that he never jokes about. And anywhere that he goes to, the first thing he's looking for is that Catholic church where he's going to do his mass. Definitely, that happens. And so, Mr. Bayanonuga, so I put the insult as you usually will put the insult over Mr. Peter Obi now. Say as all of them just the fast. For them, it's an achievement that they want out there. And then this thing is, I don't know, so, and there's is this hey, somebody has to say, is this presidential? There's nothing presidential, about this. It's always, let me see, I'm just reading some of the comments that are here and all of that. And it just goes on and on. But Mr. Peter Obi in his own way is magnanimous in his own way. For me, there are certain things that I'm not going to be smiling with you. No, please, excuse me. I can't talk. If there's a need to talk, I'm going to talk to you, but I can't be smiling with you. Nah. I can't. Maybe some people will say maybe that's why I'm not a politician. So this kind of diplomacy and whatever, it's good, it's nice. Let bygone be bygone. But there's a way that I will talk to you that you know that yes, I know what had happened, and all of that. And then somewhat, Jonah, this person say, all of you are just praying that Obi should not run. See the joy in your heart because Obi agreed to say hello to Tinubu, which is that particular thing. And I must say, of course, in a religious ground, and I'm saying, okay, I will give that to Mr. Peter Obi. In a religious ground, the last thing you'll be doing is it's looking at some people and just doing anyhow. So it's a place of worship. It's a place where one should be forgiven, one should be close to God, and all of that. Hey. Certain things. Just gonna be giving you that bombastic side eye, criminal offensive, side eye. They were all saying all sorts of things, but anyway, And then all over this thing that they were doing, that thing there. But for me, the main thing for me, as always, is that my fellow citizens, politics, we all have to take part in it. We all have to do something about it. We must not stay away. Stay away is not doing us any good. If we want a country that works for every one of us, we must be ready, all of us, to participate in politics in one way or the other. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Let's bring this down home a little bit. Tinubu says Nigeria's unity in diversity is a work in progress. What's your understanding? He also extrapolated to include Africa. What's your understanding of this statement by the president? Mind you, Nigeria is 65. And then just recently, free African nations opted out of ECOWAS.
I think, like Jess Baldwin says, he says we have to make America become America. So in the sense, we have to make Nigeria to be Nigeria. You know, if you look at our constitution with all its weaknesses, it's very clear that the constitution wants us to have what I call democratic citizenship. The notion that a Nigerian citizen is the centerpiece of governance. And the Nigerian citizen defined by political freedoms, equality, equal protection. But what we've seen in Nigeria history has been gross violation of that. So let's give a few examples. I mean, starting from Akaloka or Deborah, people don't like to hear this. But when citizens can be dispensed with because of religious sensibilities, and the state does not protect them. Look at the level of killings, whether in the southeast, south, north, everywhere. So I think that the first thing, this unity and diversity, you have to work. You know, you have to create the notion of a nation. So the idea of Nigeria as a democratic, secular state, where we are equal, freedom, unity, and love and peace. Some of our national ethos have to be worked at. And so President Tinubu is right that it's a work in progress. But somebody will say, this is like the workshop has been shut down. You know, the tools are idle. The workmen have gone home. We're not seeing progress.
Doctor, it's not about the talk.
We are talking. We're not working
about the work.
The factory is shut. It's a work in progress. If you see workmen who are really working,
you would know.
You know, but when workmen have shut the workshop, so our unity in diversity is no longer a work. It's an abandoned project, and to reactivate it means that we have to be clear that look. I've said that Nigeria has three crises. One is a crisis of nationality. Who is a Nigerian? So we are ethnic, we have religious, but the state, when a state becomes ethnic itself, when the state itself acts on the basis of ethnic, I'll give you an example. We'll have to be very courageous. Look at what happened to the election in Lagos State. We have some Nigerians of ethnic group were almost structurally prevented from exercising democratic rights. Did the Nigerian state step in? So the state, Nigerian state, is not protecting, it's not working towards that unity. So you have to have a state that is itself ethnically, religiously blind. And then those who, whoever opens it, you punish them. If a police officer acts grossly unethical, violate people's rights because they are belonging to different religious groups, you punish them.
If it's a minister,
you punish them.
If it's a lawmaker.
If some people will go and kill somebody because of different religious faith, and those people who are killed are feebly prosecuted and they get away, you should put another prosecute, shut it down. So I think the point is right, but the problem is that people will say, well, the work has ended. Can you now restart this work? So the challenge for President Tinubu, and he's right about the nations are always unfinished business, but he must be moving forward in the direction of work, and not that he have stopped the work, shut down the work. And so I sympathize with the notion, and that's what Pope will talk about. Pope will say, okay, diversity is a resource, but diversity has to be managed in a way that aligns with the national agenda. So the problem of nationalism, the problem of state and religion has not been clarified.
Like you said, be blind to it. Now let's try to address these two issues in less than 3 minutes. The turn, what turn do you see Nigeria's and the Vatican's assuming, especially with the Pontiff's link to Nigeria? And then finally, what do you read into Fayeme's, Obi's, and Tinubu's banter? Fayeme says, we welcome you to the church, because of course he's a Catholic and he was there. And Tinubu says to him, no, I should be the one welcoming you because I'm the leader of the delegation.
Correct.
Then, of course, he had to invite Obi to come and join him, and Obi joined. What do you make of the whole
I think
guy?
an interesting moment, a great moment. I mean, the president has a very good sense of humor, and to be fair to him, I don't think he's alien to the Christian tradition. He's looked at somebody who is a Muslim, but at the same time, he's somewhat also a Christian. Let's put that small letter C. And so, for me, the banter is good. Of course, social media has made it, it's not a big deal. What would be a big deal if the grace, the gracia that they took from the ceremony translates to a more restrained, issue-based politics? Yeah. It's good at that moment, it's a good moment for Nigeria, that they three of them are there, the Nigerian flag is there, it's a good moment. And then the first question you asked about how do we, what's that again?
The Vatican.
The Vatican relationship. I think it's going to be great because for two reasons. One is historic. This guy knows Nigeria. This is the most traveled center of Pope before becoming a Pope. Popes travel and get to know the world. But before then, many of the popes who have come don't know the world as much as he does. So he knows the world. He knows Nigeria well. He has brothers here. So I think in a sense, he will have something to feel for Nigeria. If it's a crisis, he will get involved. The second thing that makes it easier for us is that the issues that his papacy represent are issues that the South, including Nigeria, and the African people, the black people who themselves in many ways are victims left behind, and Nigeria being perhaps one of the most significant and important African nations, it means that the Pope will keep an eye on Nigeria. And with President Tinubu gracing this event, it means that some connection, some symbolic connection. P2B is a member of the Papa, committee. Fayemi is strong there. We have now Obaleke, the young guy. We have Pope Francis, Cardinal Francis, who is more like a leading bureaucrat in the Vatican. I think they're going to be a great relationship between Nigeria and the Vatican.
An invitation from the new Pope, who once worked in the Apostolic Nunciature in Lagos during the 1980s and says the country holds a special place in his heart. Today, for President Tinubu, who has spoken often about unity in diversity, this was more than a ceremonial attendance. It was a gesture of Nigeria's religious diplomacy on the global stage. A warm handshake between the Nigerian leader and the new pontiff. A moment of symbolic interfaith connections.
It's consistent and the true sense of unity in diversity. And I'm greatly honored. We have to continue to work on it. It's a work in progress. For the sake of our country and the continent as a whole.
Nigeria is no stranger to religious complexity, home to millions of Christians and Muslims who often live side by side. Tinubu's presence at the Vatican underlines the country's delicate religious balance and the role leaders play in bridging divides.
It's very, very symbolic and indicative of the great solidarity that he continues to show, not just to the Muslim community, but to the entire Christian community. He has shown that this solidarity with the millions of people who are of the Catholic faith in Nigeria by attending this Mass, being himself a Muslim. This has also shown his commitment to the advancement of peace, not just in the African region, but globally also.
He's a man who's tolerant of all religions and who believes in interfaith harmony, and who has even demonstrated it by the kind of appointments he made. I read somewhere that the president has made over, out of his cabinet, 62% of them are Christians. That shows the kind of man he is.
Shows the fact that a Muslim president can be accepted and is liberal to carry the whole country along. So he represents not only the Muslim faith, but also Christians in Nigeria. And it changes the perception that Nigeria has this, everlasting sectarian conflict between Christian and Muslim.
After the Mass,
President Tinubu met with Nigerian Catholic bishops on his entourage, urging that the country's diversity be used not for adversity, but for prosperity, and called on leaders at all levels to work for the good of the people.
If we are to use that diversity, not for adversity at all, but for prosperity for the country, it's historic for one to be on the saddle of presidency and for this to happen.
We are grateful, and I've already written to thank you for facilitating our coming for the funeral of Pope Francis. So now that you have come to the Vatican, so whenever we are having our conference in Nigeria, we'll also invite you, and we look forward to interfacing with you, just as you're able to do with the Holy Father.
Meanwhile, the inauguration mass also saw a rare moment. For the first time since Nigeria's fiercely contested 2023 elections, President Tinubu was seen publicly engaging with his former opponent and one of his fiercest political critics, Peter Obi of the Labour Party. The two, joined by former Governor of Ekiti State, Kayode Fayemi, shared light-hearted pleasantries. In an age of deepening global divides, President Bola Tinubu's presence here signals not just diplomatic courtesy, but an assertion shared by the 267th Pope that faith can be a bridge, not a barrier. Adesoa Omoruan, Arise News.
Well, joining us to discuss Pope Leo's inauguration and what it portends for the world at this time, including Africa, of course, his ideologies and what the world should expect, is Sam Amadi, Director, Abuja School of Social and Political Thought. Glad to have you join us, Dr. Amadi.
Thank you.
He set the tone for his papacy with a call to stop exploiting the nature, the war. He talked about Myanmar and then, of course, Gaza and what's happening between Russia and Ukraine. And, of course, marginalizing the poor. What do you make of that, the tone he has set?
Thank you for having me. I guess the first thing is that this Pope has been the one, which have been maybe too charismatic and too politically, expressive, has been very clear as to what the papacy represents. And by the way, there's a long history of popes defining the moment, and stepping in to provide, leadership, moral leadership mostly. Of course, the famous Pope John Paul II. But again, even Pope Benedict was very clear. Pope Francis might be controversial in some areas, but clear. So this Pope, I think, brings together the two strands of recent papacy. One, deep spirituality of Pope Benedict, in a sense, hacking to the gospel in a more holistic sense. And of course, St. Francis, who, coming from his Latin American background, also had a deep sense, perhaps some would say liberal. And so this is a Pope who, I think, a compromise of two, quote unquote, warring sides.
About the conservatives being alienated.
Exactly.
He also spoke about the church being a transformational force in the world of division.
So I think, if I have to say how he defines his role, first, from the Augustine perspective, he's an Augustine priest, and we know, and it took Leo, the 13th, who is now patterned this was the first person who gave us a very landmark social doctrine of the church called Rerum Novarum, which focuses on the relationship between capital and labor and criticizes capitalism and its extreme exploitation of workers, and criticized socialism, and talked around the principles of equity, reward for labor, unionism, labor unionism. So this is a Pope, in a sense, that brings in conservative Christian values, family. A day or two before this, he talked a lot yesterday about the family as a bedrock. He has also spoken against transgender, abortion, the right of the baby, and gay marriage. So it's not going to, like the Pope Francis,
his
maybe,
predecessor,
kind of some sensitivity. It's okay, you know what? Maybe we can give them some sacramental recognition. This Pope is going to be very clear on that. But he also has a deep and passionate commitment to social justice, not in the categorization of liberal, non-liberal, but in the simple sense of empathy, of compassion. And it's not surprising that perhaps the first president he has met is Zelensky, because he's also strong on war. He's been very clear before he came to the papacy on the Ukraine war, on the fact that Russia is the aggressor and has needed to save. So you're going to talk about war, its devastating impact. You're going to talk about the poor,
and the nature,
and
how we're treating the nature.
Some kind of environmental, not the extreme environmentalism of the woke people, but a sense of responsibility for the earth, which is God's gift to us. So it will be, I think it's going to be a well-received papacy this time. And again, the crisis in the world pushes him to, he's going to take a center stage. He won't be so, muscularly aggressive or evangelical in world politics, but it's going to be really, really contrarian to some.
A little to the right, a little to the left.
Well, but with a clear vision.
With a clear vision. Okay, well, let's.
So guys, you have seen it for yourself. I don't know what you make of all this happening. Honestly, the APC mob, they are everywhere, They are everywhere trying to talk down on Peter Obi, trying to criticize Peter Obi. They know that Peter Obi has won the minds of many Nigerians. And guess what? This time around, the APC government has hired so many internet mobs to come to, attack Peter Obi. Anything Peter Obi does, you see it everywhere. Anything Peter Obi says, you see them reacting. In short, they are everywhere now trying to bring down the personality of Peter Obi, but guess what? They cannot succeed because Peter Obi is loved organically and he has won the minds of Nigerians. If you know what the APC is doing, to buy people over, to influence people, if you know what they are doing, Peter Obi is not wasting his money in any of those. Peter Obi is gaining organic love from Nigerians, honestly. But guess what? They are trying their best to talk down on Peter Obi, to accuse him, to make jest of him, to tell him he did not achieve anything in Anambra State, somebody that won so many awards, But guess what? Obedience and focus. We are focused. And I just want to say that it's not even all the reactions, all the things that this APC mob posts on the internet that you should react to. It's not, because if you are reacting to it, just like we ignored Bola Dane, I think it's time to just ignore the APC mob, Nigerians. It is time to ignore them. When you ignore them, their posts will mean nothing. But if you go to their posts to react, then you are making them to feel belong. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others, and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.